to What's Cooking New Ulm. I'm Rebecca Fleisar, the dietitian with the Heart of New Ulm Project, working to reduce and eventually eliminate heart attacks in the 56073 zip code. And today my guest is Leah Peck. Welcome, Leah.
Thanks, Becca.
Leah is actually the Human Resources Director down at Schugel Trucking, and she has made some great changes in your workplace. So, she's just a champion that we love to have on today. And she's actually bringing in a great recipe, something that many of us have never heard of or never tried, but will be very surprised to find out what it is. So why don't you introduce us to your recipe and tell us a little bit about it?
Well, today we are going to make edamame, which is actually also called Japanese soybeans or edible soybeans. And these are different than the soybeans that we use to produce inedible things or feed, for example, that we would feed to animals. It's edible soybeans and frequently served in Japanese cuisine, which is largely vegetarian cuisine. It's a high protein soybean.
Right, very high in fiber. Now,
Yep.
This is something that could be grown locally, though, if we chose, right?
I'm hoping so.
Yes. It does grow in our area. It can be produced. So, as we see combines out taking out our soybeans, it would be the same process for the edamame, which, many of us would take for granted that they're grown right. It could be grown right in our area. So tell us the difference here between the two bowls that you have.
Well, this is a standard edamame in the shell. This is how it looks when it's removed from the plant. In the shell, there are two different colors. I've seen black edamame, and then this is the standard that you can find in the grocery store, which is a green edamame. And this is what the edamame looks like once it has been shelled.
Okay, so today we're going to be making two different recipes. We're actually going to make the regular edamame, and then we're going to make an edamame hummus. You want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. The difference is that I would say edamame in the shell is really more of a snack on the go. It's a great, we eat it a lot during football season, have a bowl in the room, an extra bowl for the pods. The edamame without the shell is used to more toss into salads, roasted vegetables, or in this case we're going to puree it and make hummus, which is standard cooked with, it's not even cooked, but pureed with garbanzo beans or black beans, and we're going to make it with edamame.
Okay, great. So as we did mention, the edamame is a great source of protein. It is going to be very high in protein and fiber, and it doesn't have very much fat in it, so it's going to be an excellent staple into the diet. The fat it does have is going to be our poly and monounsaturated, so something we definitely want to incorporate in. So I do remind people, if you do choose this as your snack, you do want to start in smaller quantities. It is going to make a difference on our GI system, so something you want to ease into slowly. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the process.
Well, you can cook this two ways. You can boil it or steam it. We are going to boil it. That is my standard, mostly because steaming just creates one extra tool for me to clean. So I just toss it into boiling water, and it cooks in just about 3 to 4 minutes. Give it a little stir and let it do its thing.
All right, now on edamame, you can add a myriad of different seasonings and spices. So what are you going to be adding into yours today?
Well, today, to make it crowd-friendly for any group of people, we're going to just add half a teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
My favorite, because I like a lot of spice, I have a favorite that I give, still a crowd favorite, still pretty generally favorable, but it has a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, a teaspoon of sugar, and then a half a teaspoon of salt. And this mixture just brings out the flavor, I think, of the soybean, really adds something, and then you have that little touch of heat from the red pepper flakes.
Okay.
I have seen recipes with cumin, with chili powder, salt and pepper. I've seen mixtures of the half teaspoon of salt and a mixture of different peppers like black pepper, pink peppercorns, red peppercorns, whatever variety you can have. But my standard favorite is the salt, sugar, and red pepper flakes.
Great. Well, while that's boiling then, Leah, why don't you tell us a little bit about the changes that you've made in your worksite and in your own personal life in keeping with the mission of Heart of New Ulm?
Boy, increasing fruits and vegetables is number one, which is one reason that I really like the edamame. In my household, I'm not the only one, And I'm sure you wouldn't be surprised to hear that meat is popular in my house, other than from my own taste. And so I've had to find ways that I could supplement that with good snacks that were good for you. And that also includes chips. I mentioned that in football season, edamame is kind of a staple for us on a Sunday afternoon. You know, it satisfies that urge for mindless eating, bringing the hand to the mouth repeatedly, the salty flavor, sometimes even the spicy flavor, and it's just a great healthy snack.
Good.
Cutting up fruits and vegetables and having them in the line of vision. So we put soda and other kind of snacks that aren't maybe the best for you in the bottom drawers, and brought all of the produce up in appealing containers up on the top of the refrigerator.
That's a great idea.
So at night when he's hungry and looking for a snack, what's to have? There's a bowl of cherries. They're ready to eat. They're washed. Everything's ready to go. And so it again, having mindless eating available that's good for you and satisfying the sweet tooth.
Great.
Otherwise, exercise has been a huge change in both our workplace and in my house. For example, I did a program through my local exercise facility, increasing the amount of activity I was doing. It was a group program. That kind of helped to have more support and more activity. And then I got coworkers involved with it as well.
Right.
And so there's kind of a circle of influence. You want to be around other people that want to have the same activities that you do. As far as in the workplace, we have, we participate in Heart of New Ulm projects. We have done programs and incentive programs to increase the amount of fruits and vegetables that our employees were eating. So the people that chose to participate were rewarded by getting a share from the local CSA each week, brought to them for participating for the week prior.
Great.
That was a fun add-in.
That is. A share with the CSA means that you get to buy in, or you get 1 week's worth of vegetables provided by your local community garden. It's a great way to get fresh vegetables and support our local economy. So you can see all of the things that Leah has listed are easily done in your household as well. Making small changes will result in very big results. So those are some of the suggestions that Leah has and that you can implement as well. Let's go ahead and check in with Holly now and see what's new with her Fit in 5.
Hi, I'm Christine Hosna. I'm with the Heart of a New Ulm, soon to be Hearts Beat Back. I'm with the Fit in 5 here to show you about circuit training. For those of you that don't know what circuit training is a total body workout that combines aerobic and strength training into one. Circuit training is flexible and can be done for any fitness level. Circuit training is also flexible, as you can either do it in a 10-minute workout, or if you want a more challenging workout, you can do more circuits. So let's begin by showing you a couple simple workouts. Let's begin by doing the bicycle crunch. Get on your back, and what you're going to do is bring your opposite elbow to your opposite knee and do it the reverse way and keep going. The next workout that I'm going to show you is a squat hold. Act as if you're sitting on a chair and just hold that position for about 15 or 30 seconds. Another simple workout that you can do is push-ups. So what you're going to do, get on your hands and on your toes and push down, hold it, and push back up. The next exercise I'm going to show you is the plank. You get into the same position as you were into your push-up, except on your hands, you get onto your elbows. You hold that position, and that's a great abdominal workout. The next exercise I'm going to show you is some calf raises. Normally you could do this on a step, but you can also do it if you do not have this available to you. What you do is just on your toes, just raise up and go back down. And when you go back down, you want to make sure that you go slowly to get that full calf exercise. The next exercise that I'm going to show you is the Superman. Once again, you are going to lay on the ground, except for this time, you're going to raise your arms and legs off the ground and hold that position. And that also is a great abdominal workout. So now I'm going to show you the complete circuit, but I'm only going to do a brief one. you can certainly do yours for 30 to 45 seconds. So let's begin again by doing the bicycle crunch. And then after that, you move right on into your squat hold, your push-ups, your plank, your calf raises, and then also finish with your Superman. Now I only did mine for a couple seconds each, but to make it a complete body workout, do yours for 30 to 45 seconds each. If that is not enough of a challenge for you, then do your circuit several times. This is Christine Hasna with the Heart of New Ulm, and it's back to you, Becca.
Thanks, Holly. Okay, Leah, where are we at on this recipe?
Well, our edamame has been boiled for about 4 minutes. And how you can tell it's done, if you kind of take a look in your pot as it's boiling, the pods will start to gape open just a little bit. And you'll be able to see this in your pot as they're rolling through. So you take them out and strain them. And as I referenced before, my favorite recipe would be the teaspoon of sugar, the teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and then a half a teaspoon of salt. And that's right here. But today, for just the crowd-friendly first try, we are going to just use a little bit of salt to toss it with. Give you a taste of what the edible soybean or edamame tastes like.
So this recipe could actually use even less than a quarter teaspoon of salt just to give it a little flavor. You know, again, these are something that can be eaten plain, but the salt is going to add just a little bit of something. So if you do have high blood pressure or you have problems with fluid retention or have any kind of a cardiac condition, this is still a great food to incorporate into your diet. Just leave all salt off.
Absolutely. They're great with any kind of a seasoning mixture. You could use a mixed seasoning that has no salt in it at all, and it would still be delicious. So now comes the fun part, which is how to eat it. And this is kind of what makes eating edamame unique. It became popular in Japanese restaurants. It's served as an appetizer. And the reason for that is because it almost comes in its own little package, just like a banana. So when you're eating edamame, you're holding the pod in your hand and placing it in your mouth, pulling the pod through your teeth.
Okay.
So what happens then is the soybeans will come out of the pod and you'll get a bit of taste of salt on your mouth and then be left with the soybean to eat.
Okay.
Okay? So, like
Here
so.
we go. Wow.
What do you think?
They're actually pretty good.
They're pretty tasty. And then of course you need a bowl next to you to be able to deposit your empty pods into.
Now, like peas, are the pods consumable as well?
These are not edible.
Okay.
No, they're not. They're not.
Not bad, actually.
They're pretty tasty.
Yeah.
There's almost I want to say kind of a nutty taste to the bean. It's not quite as dry as an average bean. And again, that little touch of salt or additional spice that you add to it just brings out that nutty taste in your mouth and really makes it a fun, easy snack to eat on the go. And I will tell you that husbands love these and kids love these. And they're really very popular. You can serve the shelled soybeans to a child, just right in the high chair. They're fun that way also. A lot of my friends have enjoyed them as far as the kids and family.
Well, that was a very simple recipe. Now we need to step over to our next recipe, which might have a little bit more to it, but oftentimes we hear about hummus. And what is it and how do we make it? So this is going to be a great opportunity to see that as well. So let's move this over and go to recipe number 2.
Okay. Well, hummus is generally made with chickpeas or garbanzo beans. And hummus is a dip or a spread that is used You can eat it with crackers, with chips, with vegetables, and the base of it, instead of sour cream or another dairy product, is actually the bean itself. And it's very easy to make. Generally, when we're making a hummus, you're just emptying a can of garbanzo beans or black beans, rinsing them, and using them in your puree. Today, we're going to use the edamame. So we're boiling the edamame again for 3 to 4 minutes until it's somewhat tender, but overall still slightly al dente. So we've done that, and we're going to take it and strain it.
So Leah, tell us then, where can you find edamame here in town? Or is it something that we'll have to go out of town for?
No, it is available in town. Both Walmart in the freezer section sells it. It is sold frozen in our area. Walmart sells it, and so does Cashwise in the organic section.
Great.
So in this case, we have a shelled soybean. You can see what we ended up with in our mouth when we drug the pod through our teeth was these soybeans. And we're going to take those and add to them several other ingredients that will, when pureed together, come out with the hummus.
Okay.
So we're going to put these in the food processor.
Leah has also volunteered to be one of our Community Health Challenge leaders. She takes on her district to make them healthier and more active in our community. Every resident of New Ulm has a Community Health Challenge leader. If you don't know who your leader is yet, you need to contact the Heart of New Ulm office and we will connect you with them. This quarter's focus is on physical activity. Next quarter, we'll be taking a look at nutrition. So this is an opportunity for you to implement some of the things we're learning today and incorporate them into your diet. If you're interested in becoming a community leader, do contact us at the Heart of New Ulm as well. All right, Leah, where are we at?
Okay, so I use a food processor to make my hummus. It's easiest to puree, it's very quick, and it's an easy recipe to toss into the machine. Some other ingredients that are in hummus other than the bean, in this case we're using soybeans, but sometimes can be made with garbanzo beans, is generally going to be lemon, some olive oil, a clove of garlic, and a pinch of salt.
Okay.
Now, in some cases, a traditional recipe for a hummus is made with tahini. And so I brought some tahini today to show you what it looks like. Tahini is the paste made of ground sesame seeds. This is a Middle Eastern food used to mix into or to use as dip itself. We're not going to use this today because it's really not a standard thing that you would find in a home. It has to be refrigerated. It's a little bit more expensive. And a standard thing that we all have is some olive oil. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil today to our edamame.
Now you will have a little bit of a different flavor without the tahini, but it's still going to be very nutritious and it's going to be good tasting. So if you want to slowly go into hummus, you can try with the things that you have in your pantry now. And then as you graduate forward, you can go ahead and purchase the tahini as well. Again, is that something we can find in town?
Yes, I buy this at the grocery store. In Cashwise, it's in the organic section by the other dressings and pureed items. In fact, I think it's even in the same aisle as other nut butters. This is a sesame seed puree, so it's found by the other nut butters.
Okay.
An additional ingredient that we would need is a clove of garlic. So again, we're just tossing that in. And then one thing that really adds a lot of flavor without a lot of work or in addition to or instead of the need for adding salt would be some lemon zest. So we're going to zest a lemon and add that to our recipe.
As Leah said, these are going to be the core ingredients of this recipe. You can change any recipe to your own liking. So if there's something like garlic that you don't particularly care for, it can be left out and you can still enjoy this recipe. But do remember that garlic is one of our great health promoters. And if you can keep it in the diet, it's only more beneficial for you.
In one hummus recipe, I actually use sautéed onion instead, and it creates that mild flavor instead of the more pungent, strong garlic. Is onion good for you also?
It is.
Excellent. One of the things that we use to moisten this dip, instead of adding more fat like the olive oil or the sesame seed paste, would be lemon juice. So I'm going to juice a lemon. In addition to the zest of the lemon for the flavor, we've got the liquid and flavor from the juice.
If you're not quite ready to buy the lemons and zest them and add them in fresh, you can use lemon juice as well, correct?
Yes, yes you can. Now what we need is our seasonings. And a very traditional seasoning used in Middle Eastern cooking would be cumin. So I have that here, and I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of cumin to our mixture.
Cumin has a very distinct flavor. It's going to be a little bit, it's going to have a little bite to it. It's going to add a little bit of zing to this hummus. So again, something you're going to want to try before you put it into your recipes. If you do like it, it really can add a lot of flavor.
I agree, and it's often found in kind of a cooking mix for tacos and taco seasoning, so it's a similar flavor. We're going to add just a pinch of salt to our mixture. You can absolutely omit that. And we're ready to puree just our base mixture, so it's going to be a little noisy for you. Now you can see that it's still chunky, and in this case I don't want to add more fat, and so what I've done is reserve some of my cooking liquid, so I'm going to add that instead.
Great. Well, while Leah goes ahead to finish up the hummus and pureeing that, let's go ahead and check in with Betsy and find out what's new with the Hearts Beat Back Heart of New Ulm project.
Hi, I'm Betsy Pizer with the Hearts Beat Back Heart of New Ulm project. Just wanted to touch base and see how you're doing on your community health challenge. Are you logging your steps? Are you using a pedometer? Pick up this logbook at the Chamber of Commerce or our Heart of New Ulm office in the lower level of the clinic, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 p.m. You can have a pedometer to clip on your side of your pants and measure and see if you're really getting 10,000 steps. Plus, this has helpful stretches and articles on getting going, starting a plan, and just keeping track of everyday physical activity. Our goal is to get at least 150 minutes of physical activity each week. If you're already doing that, challenge yourself to find a friend, grab a dog, encourage someone who's not getting it to make it their goal as well. We hope to see you at our upcoming great events this fall. Save the date for October 16th for our fall summit at the DAC auditorium, what used to be the middle school or the junior high, for an exciting event that evening, plus a Heart of New Ulm update. Check out our website at heartsbeatback.org to see where and when the next cooking classes are, get healthy recipes, and watch old episodes of our cooking show. We hope to see you out and about town soon. Have a great week. Back to Becca.
Thanks, Betsy. All right, Leah, why don't you catch us up on where you are and what this is going to be served with?
Okay, well, hummus is a dip, and it can also be used as a spread. So in our house, it very often substitutes mayonnaise on a turkey sandwich, or you can eat it in a pita pocket with additional veggies on top. We made that for our winning recipe at the Culinary Challenge in New Ulm. Today, what we're going to do with our hummus is just serve it in a bowl, and you can eat this with any kind of a cracker. It's great with a crunchy rice cracker or nut cracker, again, something you would probably find in the organic section of the grocery store. Or you can serve it with carrot sticks, celery sticks, things like that. A more traditional way of serving it is in a dish like we have here, but we would maybe drizzle a small bit of olive oil or sesame oil on top and then sprinkle it with some fresh herbs. So I'm just going to drizzle a tiny bit of olive oil on top, just kind of makes it look pretty, and then sprinkle it with some fresh chopped parsley, and you can dig in.
All right. Well, it was a great and unique recipes that we had on today. So we appreciate you being here and sharing this with us, Leah. And that's it. That's this week's episode of What's Cooking New Ulm. We look forward to seeing you again next week.